Okay, today is September 27th, 2017, and right now at 10:30 p.m. we have a temperature of 64 degrees in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is 39%, and the dew point is also 39 degrees. And we have a barometric pressure of 30.01, which is on the rise. And we're here in Southern California in the foothills, as I mentioned. And right here we can see this is a mid and upper level low, which should be delivering rain to this entire area into California as well. There's not much. This is actually half of a low. We can see that the other half right here is being blockaded by a transmitter. And notice the outline, what's happening here. This is the outline of that high pressure zone right here, as this jet stream moisture, this former jet stream, is evaporated. We can see the moisture in that is completely evaporated as it moves down through California. We have also a secondary moisture field right here moving towards California to the east. Right here we have an area of moisture which would otherwise bring cooler temperatures and possibly some rain into this area, but that is all being stopped by the terrorists controlling our weather. And we can see that right here. There's actually chemtrails being sprayed all through this moisture field. We can take a quick look at that here right now on the SSCC water vapor map. Notice all the spraying going on right here. It's just running every which way. Take a look at that. This is a manufactured abnormal area of high pressure which has been installed into place. We can see the effect that's having on this eastbound moisture field. Everything is having to flow around that high. If we go back to the map here, we can see the bigger map. Actually, let's go to the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. We can see that we have another example here. We have a mid and upper level low pressure system right here just east of the Hawaiian Islands, which is spinning. This is what they call a dry upper level low. The puppets on TV call this a dry low. And the reason for that is that there's a transmitter right on top of that low, and that is preventing the jet stream flow right here from moving right into that low pressure. Higher pressure always flows towards low pressure. That's basic thermodynamics. Just like when you empty air, let the air out of a tire, you have high pressure flowing to low pressure. And so that's what we see here. We have low pressure right here. We've got low pressure over here as well, and up here. And over here we have, over California, we've got a blockade. So the terrorists controlling our weather are preventing this moisture field from moving in and delivering cooler temperatures. And that is just about as obvious as can be. This is overt weather manipulation. We can see what happens as this moisture moves into that zone of high pressure. Everything just evaporates. Now, earlier today, we had a portion of the jet stream still flowing right through Southern California and wrapping right around into that low. There was a U-shaped area of high-speed flow on the jet stream. If we take a look at the jet stream map now, 7 or 8 hours down the road, we see that now there's nothing. There's no high-speed flow moving through California. So that high pressure that was installed to block not only the moisture on the jet stream moving down and wrapping into this low, it stopped that, and it's also stopped the eastbound flow of that offshore moisture field, which we're looking at right here, which is all laced with chemtrails. And the chemtrails are a desiccant. They spray, these terrorists that spray those chemical aerosols. That stuff caps the atmosphere. It sponges up residual moisture. The relative humidity drops within about 2 hours of these being sprayed. If you have a relative humidity instrument, you can observe that at your house or wherever you are. You see chemtrails in the skies, keep an eye on your instruments, because you'll see that humidity drop. That also caps the haze, caps the atmosphere, and it prevents the lift. All right. Let's go to the next maps. Here we have the southwest water vapor map. We can see the center of that low right here over Utah and Arizona. You can also see a right angle, about a 45-degree angle right there. And that will separate this side of the moisture field, this sort of a frontal system wrapping around. That will split that off from the very center, the vortex, the low pressure center. So that's what these right angles do. If we take a look at the big map again, we can see that the same thing is happening here. We have a transmitter that is going to redirect using this technique. You're applying high pressure in this area of the transmitter, most likely satellite based. And we can see the split right here. That will split away the jet stream from wrapping back around into that low. And so we have a half a low pressure over here. Everything is blockaded, and we've got mid 90 degree temperatures for Southern California tomorrow as a result of this installed high pressure. This is a manufactured heat wave. We should be having inches of rain from this alone. This is a mid and upper level low. If we look at the 300 millibar map right here, we can see that. Let's take a look at the 500 millibar map. See that this is a mid and upper level low. We see some squiggly lines here. That indicates transmitter manipulation. These isobars should be smooth flowing lines, and they're not. Right up in this area where all this high pressure is being installed, we see squiggly lines. That indicates varying degrees of high and low pressure right along this area. So we've got a mixture of rising and descending air, and that's what causes these squiggly lines. Surface map, look at the surface map. We have squiggly lines all over the place. And these maps don't always accurately depict what's going on. The best thing to do is to look at the water vapor map. That is probably the best map to get started if you're interested in learning about what's going on, because water vapor, the voids we're seeing here in the water vapor are the absence of water vapor. We've got this scale down here. This shows the dry area down here on the far left, and the most the depth of the water vapor over here, the blue being the most intense and deep area of these moisture fields right here. We have some thunderstorms. You can see that the pink, the magenta pink, that's the intensity of that area of weather right there. So this is all abnormal. A stationary high pressure right adjacent to a low pressure, blocking an eastbound moisture field. Where are the people on TV? Where is the patriotism? Where is the backbone of these meteorologists, these stooges on TV that are allowing this to go unreported? Well, at the same time, the stations they work for are reporting CO2, carbon dioxide, and greenhouse gas, smokestack emissions. You know, that's just baloney. And we've got people on the internet peddling that theory too, that smokestacks, land-based smokestacks, are somehow creating hurricanes. We've got basically a hurricane right here. This is a low pressure system that, if it was allowed to spin and develop, would be half the size of the United States. Let's look at this one, this low pressure up here. You think smokestacks are creating these lows? No, wrong. Nope. Look at the bow and the jet stream right here from the barricade of high pressure. None of this is being reported on TV. The fact is that these giant areas right here, this tan area, this is an area that is void of water vapor. And when we see high pressure installed in the East Pacific like this for days on end, that will raise the temperature of the ocean surface, the upper 2 to 3 feet of water. And that, of course, changes the evaporation rate. And the evaporation rate changes the airborne water vapor, the relative humidity, the dew points all change with evaporation. So there's a lot of things going on here. So there we have it. We have some moisture moving right towards California. It's being blocked right here. Nothing is getting into this zone. of high pressure. There's nothing normal about that. In fact, everything that I'm pointing out in these videos is abnormal. There's nothing normal about our weather. The only thing consistent about our weather is that it's not being reported accurately. That's about all I can really say about it. The telecast map, here we see the rain over the Four Corner states, but nothing in California or Nevada. Barely any rain in Arizona. But we see why, because there's a transmitter right here blockading this moisture field and evaporating the jet stream. And all this moisture that should be wrapping around that low. Okay, so that is the report. This is not a good news YouTube channel. If you're looking for good news, you're in the wrong place. But everybody should be learning about what's going on with our weather. Number one is that we're getting cartoon weather by stooges, by puppets that are being overpaid to basically lie and cover up what's going on, while at the same time peddling a false a narrative that is false. That is, that CO2 is causing all this. That's just baloney. CO2 has nothing to do with what we're seeing right here, or any of these other features. This right angle, these are all RF techniques being used, laser RF techniques to manipulate the jet stream to evaporate moisture flowing right into California. Okay, so that's it. We'll just leave it right here, and we'll do another update later.